Hey everyone, it's Benny and Dylan for PSG, and long story short, we're here to talk about the new Avengers roadmap and content coming out. But if you don't know our history with Avengers, the both of us have been playing since launch. We're huge fans of the game. We have been, but we have expressed concerns, problems, a bunch of stuff over on our other channel, Comic Story and Gaming. But we're going to be moving the more, I guess, industry, like the situation with it, more over here with our discussions of Fortnite, Destiny, and everything else here at PSG. Does that sound about right, Dylan?
Yeah.
You okay, Dylan?
I'm running out of steam, but I'm excited to talk about Avengers. And
okay, so let's do just that. Today is the 18th. Hawkeye and Future Imperfect just dropped, right?
Yes. Yeah, we'll have a video talking about that. We're not going to talk about like that stuff right now, because neither of us have played it yet.
Right. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it in the sense of looking at the future of Avengers, not in the sense of, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't done it yet. We're both about to sit down and do it. Yeah. So, Avengers, if you somehow have been living under a rock, came out in August and has had nothing but a series of problems and non-existent communication with the developers. There's been massive delays. There was never a roadmap. There was never a plan as far as we could tell. And the community as a whole and the people who wanted to play this game on a level like we play Destiny or Overwatch, we were just left waiting for whatever's going to happen. Well, I was invited to a pre-brief yesterday, which I feel like we can do in a manner of like, I'll answer your questions, Dylan, because they gave it a very brief thing today.
Sure. Yeah, because the main thing is in the Square Enix Presents thing happened today, and Benny let me know a couple of the things that were announced on the thing, and so I was expecting going into the Square Enix thing that they would be like, oh, here's like the specifics of everything that we talked about, but they really just kind of showed the bare minimum. Like, they rehashed the Hawkeye stuff. They showed the roadmap, like a condensed version of the roadmap for like literally 3 seconds, and then moved on and didn't talk about any of it. And they released, I guess, after the fact, like a more detailed version of the roadmap, which is the stuff that I guess they clued you and some other content creators into. And they,
what like, I think, well, I was going to say, I'll explain what you're talking about right now, because the first thing that they, in the thing yesterday, they admitted their communication's been poor. I jokingly said to Dylan here that it's not poor, it's non-existent.
Yeah.
I've played games that have poor communication. Like this, there's Destiny has poor communication as to what's going on, but at least they try. Avengers just went dark. Which is where I think a lot of the rumors about, oh, it's going the route of an Anthem came out of. I think today with the reveal, I think because none of this is really out yet, and it has gotten such a backlash, Square just wanted to more be like, we haven't forgotten about it. It's still a thing. We're still working on it. Here's the new stuff coming out. Now let's move on, because you're all just going to go dead game. 7 people are playing. That's all you're all going to say. You know,
that's because the strange thing to me is, like, you know, last time we talked about Avengers in video form was when what was it? It was when Hawkeye's War Table came out, when they announced his release date.
Right.
And the main thing that we kept hitting on is that they need to show a roadmap. They need to drum up excitement for the future of the game, not just what's coming immediately next.
Yes.
And we have a roadmap, but the things that would get people excited weren't said. They just exist on this image. And like, even just if they don't have anything to show, like, they clearly have images here that, like, things that people want and have wanted for a while. If they just like said that stuff and showed like a screenshot or something. Like, one of the things here is talking about in summer or late summer or whatever, later this year, we're going to get a patrol mode. Like, they didn't mention that on the stream. They just, it was just on the screen for like 3 seconds and then is later explained in this image.
Yeah, so I think the route they're going is they're going to use content creators such as me and everyone else that was at the pre-brief yesterday to explain these things, because I actually know what all of this is. They explained all of this. So, want to just take, huh?
They just didn't for everyone else, I guess. They're leaving that job to us, the people who are not their employees.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take this. If you want to make me the guy that talks about Avengers, I got you. So, We'll skip today's Operation Hawkeye Future Imperfect because it's out. We're going to give you a full review on that particular patch very soon. Yeah. I've already downloaded the PS5 upgrade to see how that plays. We can talk about that a little bit. You do need to at least, even if you're not going to play for fun on there, you need to at least download it and do that portion. So I'm sorry, Dylan. You have to download the free upgrade.
Houston is on this channel. He's another host.
No, but you're the Avengers guy. It's you and me, Dylan.
No,
you and me.
Not.
Ride or die. Ride or die with Avengers, Dylan.
I'm the PC Avengers guy.
Yeah. So, I'm over here buying takedowns and outfits right now, by the way, as we speak.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Spring, Tachyon Anomaly. This is going to be an actual event. Like an event that drops for a limited time, which will allow you to go in as 4 of the same character. It's going to be a time rift where we can all play the same character and get unique loot to it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So remember how we all used to... What's that?
That's something that people have wanted, but I've like a lot of this is stuff that people have wanted since launch. It's like, let us play as the same heroes, let us have a patrol mode, stuff like that. But like, yeah, that's interesting that it's a limited time event, because they did talk about early on. They were like, we're gonna have limited time events like live service games usually have, and we have not had a single one of those yet. So
right. I get a feeling that this kind of thing sounds to me like it'll be kind of their version of what Destiny does, a thing called the Iron Banner. It's a limited time event that allows you to go do PvP with max power. There's no limit level scaling. And I got to think this is going to be their version of it, something we'll probably see on a regular basis, rotate in and out. Because that's what they do with Iron Banner. It comes in for like a weekend, and you can go crazy, and then it goes away. You know? Yeah. So to me, that the way they were toting this will be something we see reoccurring. Right. But yes, it's going to be, we can go in as 4 of the same hero. It's supposed to be a time travel anomaly crap that we're all coming in from different time travel. So that's the excuse story-wise. And it's intended for 1 to 100. So you can go in with brand new friends and use this to level.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, for the people like us who are past that, why would I do this?
Well, we wouldn't. But in May, tying into the movie, we have the Red Room Takeover. So Red Room Takeover is going to be they didn't promote it as being like a big story thing, but it's going to have a minor story involving the Red Room taking over the Harm Room and giving us unique high-end challenges to do and earn. Well, they said they're going to bring them in. I don't know if they're going to earn them or sell them, but the MCU costumes from Black Widow are going to be in the game finally.
Yeah. Because that's mentioned down at the bottom here in additional content and features. It says outfits inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
They keep saying that. Yesterday in the brief, we all kind of assumed it was going to be the Red Room related stuff. Like, oh, it's going to be the Black Widow movie. But they say just inspired. I don't know if they're trying to get you hyped up for a cap that they don't intend on putting in or what, but we'll see.
I mean, if inspired can mean so many different things, because a lot of the outfits that they've put in that are like inspired by the comics, like they sort of look like the comic book version, but they're not completely like true to it. And
right,
I just like, if they take the MCU designs and warp them like even a little bit, I don't really see the point, because this game is already so clearly modeled after the MCU that I don't know why you wouldn't just like copy and paste those designs. It's just easy money. Like, obviously you have to make, I'm not saying it's easy to make those models and put them in. I'm just saying like that would sell. Like, once you do it, people would go nuts for that.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But I will say, I do like that we do have 2 events dropping in April and then in May. So there's your 2 months right there. The next 2 things that are coming out with unique loot for each of these and outfits and things like that. So I'm excited about that. The Cosmic Cube thing listed for summer is we're going to finally get, I guess, some kind of conclusion to the Monica storyline. She's going to be our new villain to come out, and we're going to get, they're also going to allow us, there's going to be villain sectors, which will feature things like 4 Abominations, 4 Taskmasters, all the clones coming in at once. When they said that, on one hand, I'm like, this would be cool. On the other hand, I'm like, I've already beaten so many Taskmasters and Abominations.
When I complained about fighting Abomination and Taskmaster over and over again, I didn't mean give me 4 of them at once. That's not what I was asking for. But go off, Crystal Dynamics. Something interesting I just noticed is in the Square Enix Presents briefing, this Cosmic Cube slide is called Project Omega, not Cosmic Cube. So I don't know why they changed that between these two images. That's a little strange. I don't know why.
I think the Omega level threats are supposed to finally come out then too. They also explained where the Omega level threats have been. They said there's been so many bugs and issues, and it's supposed to take so long. They didn't want to run into that issue of things that have been going on where you spend 5 hours on a hive mission and it crashes. They didn't want their first raids to be bogged down with that. That's why they've been delaying it. They want to make sure it's perfect so that there won't be issues like that happening.
That makes sense. They should have just said that more.
Once again, lack of communication. So
that's like, I think the main reason why people have been so frustrated with this game is every time they drop a new war table, and they were a little bit better about it in the Hawkeye one, but the one before that, I think the Kate Bishop one, like there was a section devoted to like content creators being like, this game is amazing, we love this, when like the general like mood towards the game at that point was not that, it was just apathy, and for them to like ignore that completely and try to put off this like vibe that everyone is loving the game is just like disingenuous and speaks to like them not wanting to own up to anything, which like I get it, like it's a bad situation. The game was rushed out, it was delayed multiple times, and COVID hit it really hard, but like just tell us that and move
You're
forward.
not wrong. You're not wrong. I wish they had. But so then the Wasteland Patrol, that is supposed to be a new map type and on the Future Imperfect area. But it's going to be like Domination, I guess they said. It's supposed to be like a giant open area.
Yeah.
So the closest we're going to get to a true open area in this game.
This is the one thing that I'm like actually really excited for, and I think should be where Tachyon Anomaly is in terms of release, because the thing that this game really lacks right now that doesn't make it stand up to other live service games is replayability. It's like once you get one character to 150, you basically never want to play the game again.
You're not wrong. That's the biggest issue. Like, I could redo it, but you run into that question of why.
It's the same thing over and over again. And, like, a patrol zone is just... I feel like, you'd be patrolling the same area and killing the same enemies over and over again, but that feels a little more free than, like... I don't know. Obviously, I haven't played it, but I feel like zones like that in other games have always felt, like, a lot more fun just to drop in and, like, run around in. Like, an open world
you're not wrong.
area.
I mean, using Destiny as another comparison, if I get on Destiny, I can do the strikes. I can do it, which is fine, which is what their things are, and I can redo them with different characters and different classes. But what really is a lot of times what I end up doing is I jump on, see what someone's doing, and I jump in on their open world thing, and we're just running around, shooting while we chat, just doing pointless stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's low end casual content, but without it being there, you really feel that it doesn't exist. Like Destiny, we'll jump in and do that for 10 minutes and then go, okay, you want to go run such and such. But without that middle ground, somewhere to go, it's like you and me running around the helicarrier. What are you going to do, Dylan?
Like, it's just not, it's not like it's the difference between making a game feel like you're just going through a series of hallways and making a game feel like you're living in a world that you can be in. That's why, like, MMOs, when you drop into an MMO, you're not just like sitting on a level select screen and then selecting like a dungeon or something to go into. You're like living inside of that world and going to places to select things. And I think that's what this game is kind of lacking. So patrol modes would be cool.
So here's my last one on here. And they didn't specify this, but this is flagged as an expansion. The War for Wakanda. That's
marketing mojo, I think.
Well, but does expansion mean another $20 purchase?
Oh,
that's what I'm wondering about.
They said heroes would always be free. They said that.
Yes, but you could easily just give us Black Panther, but not give us the stories.
That would be literally the worst. I don't like how your brain works. That sucks.
You know what I'm saying, though? They're like, here's Black Panther, but all of the stuff related to Black Panther requires a purchase of the expansion.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how they would be able to do that, and I think whatever it is, circumstance, someone's fault has backed them into a corner so much that, like, if they ever put a bounty on anything other than cosmetics, like, that's it. They're writing their death sentence. So I don't think...
You think that, but I mean, Destiny didn't get its footing until Taken King, and that was 3 expansions in.
Right, but haven't Destiny's expansions always been paid?
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, if every year we just have another Avengers expansion you're expected to pay for, that's the model Destiny goes with. So I wouldn't put it past them. Buying the game is like buying a season pass for a year is what you're buying, basically.
I think it's just like it's the minutia in that, right? Because like if they started off by saying every superhero would be free, and then they genie in a bottle you, it's like, oh yes, Black Panther is free, but to actually play his story, you have to pay me.
But here's the question: did they say? I thought they said the challenge cards were always going to be free.
No, those haven't been free. Because you have to buy into the new characters to unlock theirs. Kate and Clint's you have to buy to start. The original 6 heroes you get for free, but that's like you get the character, you get the ability to play the character, but you have to like unlock the ability to use their battle pass or something. But also it pays for itself and then some if you actually complete it. So it's a pretty good system. Like I haven't actually dropped money into.
So what if they do the same thing with Black Panther?
Like you have to spend.
Here's
like,
Black Panther,
units.
but it'll cost you the $10, but $20 now because you also get story with him.
Yeah. So let's see. What does it say here? It says new hero Black Panther, new hero outfits, power level cap increase, new villains including Claw, new Claw faction enemies. That's cool. The new story, new Wakandan jungle biome, and new outpost. So it looks like this is basically everything that the Clint and Kate things have had except new enemies, like new general faction enemies.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we also gonna do Bino. Well, no, because they both came out.
We got that in Hawkeye.
Kate not so much, but Clint got future. I was just looking at it. It's a whole wasteland map zone. So
the word expansion there is a little like the reason I said it sounds like marketing mojo is because the first thing I saw was power level cap increase, which that's like a classic like MMO or live service like thing is. That's what happens when you make an expansion of your game. Even though
I just get worried because I see the word expansion.
Yeah,
they could have just said War for Wakanda and then just listed everything.
That is concerning because it does not seem like it's any bigger than Future Imperfect or Taking Aim. Aside from like the biggest thing is like the new faction enemies, which is cool, but also I don't want to pay for that.
Well, not with how rocky the game has been up to this point,
right.
But at the same time, can you argue that they shouldn't charge? Because we do have a full game, which I enjoyed. We have Taking Aim in the Hawkeye one. We're going to have the Cosmic Cube storyline coming out, Wasteland Patrols, and a bunch of other things. Do you feel that your $60 purchase was not warranted over the course of the year?
No. I think the main reason is just because they promised a lot, and for whatever reason they did not deliver. And especially for like let's think like 4 or 5 months ago, back when the character leak happened, and we were assuming or speculating that the original plan was to release a character and content every month. Now we're in a world where Hawkeye just came out, and the time period in which the next hero is supposed to come out, being Black Panther, is from now until the end of the year.
Yeah, so that I am a little worried about actually, because I'm like they're not mentioning anyone else in this. Like the Spider-Man's not even on this list.
And we know Black Panther is the one that has the most work done to him. It may be Spider-Man because he was supposed to come out like last month, but Black Panther because he was delayed and kind of like I think he was supposed to come out or around the same time as the Hawkeyes, but he was clearly delayed, so they probably just like went back in the queue 2 spots. So unless they are going to surprise us at some point with new stuff, like there's no mention of any other new heroes before Black Panther, and they just said some point in 2021.
They did state that all the leaks and everything was all data mined, and they never confirmed any of that. That was actually in the briefing yesterday, that has caused a lot of problems for them because of these data mined leaks, just because they have placeholders for a lot of potentials and other things they want to do.
I mean, but there's still though, like Captain Marvel, for example, they've shown stuff for Captain Marvel. We've seen her design in game through glitches or whatever, but also we've seen I think some hints toward her in trailers, and obviously we've seen her design in the game itself and like posters and stuff.
Well, I mean, the Kree thing is we assumed we were going in that direction, but apparently they're going to pull a Destiny, and in 4 years we'll get back to that that story we started up right here.
Right. So it's just, you know, if we're under the assumption that like all of this stuff on the roadmap has to come out before Black Panther at the current release schedule that they're operating under, we're not getting him until like quarter 4, which is not good news for this game.
Do you, looking at what we know now and how far this thing's being pushed, do you feel, we do have to move on to
that's all, folks.
But we have kind of come with our closing thoughts in this whole thing, because right now we're just taking the initial grasp at all. Do you feel that... I don't know. I don't know what I want to ask here. Like, what do you think overall about the game? I do feel my purchase was worth it. I do feel we were promised this big live service game that I was going to be playing all the time, and I had a group of friends and we were planning out the raids, and we're going to meet up on Fridays for Destiny, Saturdays for Marvel's Avengers. None of that happened. But do you feel like your $60 was a waste? Because you and I, of all people, have definitely gotten, in my opinion, our money's worth out of this game.
I think, yeah, like I bought like the special version, which, by the way, the little gripe, I booted up the game to do some tests the other day, and I found that the cosmetic skins, like the origin skins that I paid an extra $20 to receive, are now just in the marketplace. So that was some fun news. Yeah, they were just there. I don't know if they're still there. They might have reset since I looked, but they were just chilling there, and I was like, oh, cool. So now everyone can have those. I don't really care, but it was just like, all right. I'm concerned. My concerns from the last time we talked about this game aren't really alleviated, because this roadmap, they didn't really show anything concrete to get me excited. It's just images and text that like promising stuff that the community has been asking for. Like this to me is no different than a couple months ago when one of the community managers would go on Reddit and be like, this is coming, or we're doing a gear rework at some point. It's like there's no change, because they didn't handle the reveal of all this in a way that gets me excited. Like they didn't show me what the patrol game mode looks like. They didn't, make a trailer. To me, it looks like
Square themselves is a little like half in, half out right now. They're like, well, we don't want to abandon this. This isn't an Anthem, but we need more goodwill towards us before we want to devote like we did. Because in August, they devoted so much time to the Avengers. And now they're like, roadmap gone, bye, enjoy.
Right. And I mean, fair enough. Like, you don't want to, like, obviously, in comparison, like the biggest thing that they talked about after Avengers and the Square Enix Presents thing was Life is Strange, and that got a lot more attention, which, you know what, fine. People aren't playing Avengers as much right now, so move on from it. But there's nothing stopping Crystal Dynamics and their marketing team from like after the fact putting up a deeper dive on the more detailed roadmap as a war table, or announcing that that's coming in like a couple days or something.
Well, I mean, they did the content creator thing. It's something. At least they're making some attempts to get the information out there properly.
That's a weird way to go.
It is weird, and I've been a part of a lot of these kinds of projects before, and I've never been like, hey, we're going to tell you what it all means so that you guys can have it right.
Because also, like content creator, like us sitting here and talking about an image that we were given a heads up on is not the same as seeing a trailer where we can see stuff and get excited about it. And that's the main thing, is like, if you want to drum up hype for this game, you need to make a sizzle reel of what's coming in the next year, even if it's not much. Like, if Black Panther is the only other hero we're getting for the rest of the year, and that's just the way it is, fine. But you have to get us excited about every little thing that's going to come out until he gets released. And they're just not doing that right now.
I almost feel like they've just checked out on this initial launch, and they're like, yeah, once War of Arcana comes out, that'll be our second coming. We'll get this fixed. You know what I mean?
We've said that about Kate, and we've said that about Clint. So,
well, we haven't done Future Imperfect yet, in the defense of Future Imperfect.
Sure. But I mean, like, not in terms of the quality, but like every time a new hero has been launched since the start, we've been like, all right, now we're kicking back into gear. Now they're back on track, post-COVID stuff. And every time it's been like, oh.
Operation Hawkeye Future Imperfect launched with a roadmap. Like, of all of them, I feel like we're back in gear.
That's fair, but we're not. We're back in. We switched to automatic. Like we're in a different gear now. This isn't the gear that we were getting back into. We like switched over to something else that's a lot slower.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our discussion of Avengers. Dylan and I will be talking about various games. Stay tuned for PSG as we talk about Fortnite, Destiny, Avengers, Sea of Thieves, all the games that we want to talk about and cover. We gave ourselves a home here on YouTube to talk about and cover them. So that's exactly what we're doing. Dylan will talk about Overwatch every 3 months they come out with content, right? Every 3 months?
Yeah, Overwatch 2 is a myth. It's never coming out.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That's it. Just thank you. We'll see you next time right here.
Bye.